Don't you tell me, bitch, what I know. All right.
Oh, okay.
All
That's how
right.
that's how we're starting. The AI for Zoom is going to be like, remember when you called me a bitch? And
Or make love to me like the Terminator. Okay. Today we have a very fun list. As you guys know, I did all my at the time of this video, I did all my top 10 comics of the year for 2023. But what about 2024? One benefit is that we do get solicitations for comics, but we only get the first few months of the year, so we don't know what's coming out in the summer or late next year, but we do know what's coming out the first few months, which I guess is more exciting because we'll actually read them. And today I have my good friend James here, who I call Jimmy
hey,
because my name's James, so
yeah,
that's the only way we keep it straight.
seniority. You're
Yeah.
older.
Everybody else though calls him James, and he was on this show a few times, but the biggest thing was Detonator. And his comic is almost completed now, which is very exciting.
Yeah. Woo.
And we are going to do our most anticipated list this year for 2024. And it's mostly the first few months. And it's going to be a combination of some that are already started and that are continuing into 2024. And then also some new ones that are coming out in the next couple of months. And I'm going to let Jimmy decide or talk about some of the ones that he's interested in, because I got a whole list, so we'll probably go back and forth a little bit. But what are some that you are interested in?
Well, I mean, there's so many. It's so difficult. I feel like in comics specifically, it's really difficult to know what's coming out. Solicitations are only 2 months in advance, whereas if you're excited for a TV show, movie, or video game, you have previews at least a year out, you know?
Or
so,
6 months at least.
Yeah, so a lot of things on my list are things that are like currently coming out, but I may be trade waiting or have just started or are starting very shortly. So let me think. I'm really excited for the Energon universe, which is like books coming out of Image. I never thought that I would ever care about Transformers as an adult after the Shia LaBeouf and Mark Wahlberg monstrosities. Yes, yes.
Same word.
But Daniel Warren Johnson and Robert Kirkman are doing incredible work on Transformers and Void Rivals specifically.
There's a new one coming too.
Yeah, G.I. Joe.
Yeah, and it's by Williamson, who is
Yeah.
kind of doing big things at DC. So that's interesting that they got him on board.
Yeah. I think one thing I really like is that even though you have a robot that can transform into an 18-wheeler from another planet, they're doing such a good job, both of them, Kirkman and Daniel Warren Johnson, of telling these really emotionally charged and like emotionally resonating stories.
Yeah, I only read the first issue of Transformers, but I was very, very happy with it. Like, when I first finished that issue, I think I texted you right away. I was like, yo, that was good shit. And kind of similar vibe. I know you don't read Ninja Turtles or Power Rangers, but it's amazing that these franchises that I really enjoy. Well, Power Rangers, I don't really watch anything anymore, but Ninja Turtles, I really enjoy the newest movie, Mutant Mayhem, and I like Ninja Turtles. I'll always be a fan. It's so refreshing that the comics are so good. You can probably see them behind me. And then Power Rangers has been far better than I would have ever expected a Power Rangers comic to be. And now I feel like Transformers is fitting right in there. I know it has fans from the old IDW series, but I tried to read those, and maybe I just was like, I'm too
far. And what's crazy is that it seems like I don't know anything about Transformers. I don't know shit about them. I just know that they're robots from another planet, and Optimus is like usually like a really stoic and kind dude who then just like flips a switch and like goes like war crimes mode activated.
Pretty much.
And I saw, like, leading up to the book coming out, a lot of fans were apprehensive because of the lore, and they're worried that it was going to contradict it, but he somehow managed to please them and newcomers like me. The third, each issue is great and is better than the last, especially the third issue. Damn, dude, you got to catch up. It's nuts. He tells such a grounded story despite the scope, and and it's surprisingly brutal. I figured, it's Transformers. There's not going to be a lot of bloodshed. Daniel Lord Johnson, just slapped me in the face and said, "You're wrong" in this last issue.
You don't know shit about Optimus, but the first issue surprised me just with the overall tone was a lot darker. And I don't need Transformers to be dark, but I appreciate that it feels like dark without grim dark. So I'm very excited. And Void Rivals, the other series that's currently out by Kirkman, very cool world building. Like, I don't know these tribes or whatever they are, or species. I know they're hating each other. But I don't know shit about them. I don't know if they're from like the old Transformers.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah, but I'm intrigued and I'm loving what they're doing. So more of that. Like getting newcomers to be like, yeah, I'm in. I don't know anything about them, and I'm learning as I read them.
And it was cool. I guess, like, obviously, the cat's out of the bag, as they say. Which, why would the cat be in a bag in the first place? It's really weird.
It went in there and then it died.
Oh yeah, rip. But yeah, I just thought it was. I read Void Rivals because it was just a new book by Kirkman. I had no idea that it was going to be a Transformers book, and then I remember reading the first issue, and then it's this really grounded sci-fi story, and then I just see a giant fucking robot turn into a plane. I was like, wait, what?
Yep, I was the same way. I was so glad. It's one of the few times I wasn't spoiled about something.
Yeah.
I'm just reading, and I'm like, it's pretty good. Kirkman's back and forth is always good, and then there comes a fucking what are they, Decepticon? And I was like,
no, I believe it was a
wasn't it a Starscream, right? He's bad.
Was it Starscream?
Wow, we're sitting here like we don't know shit about Transformers.
I thought it was. I'm pretty sure it was. I don't think it was a Decepticon. I think it was an Autobot. I was really. I forgot the term Autobot. I was really playing for time there.
Well, either way, it was a really nice surprise. It got me hyped for the universe, and then I like that really after that issue they don't really talk about them much in that series, and I'm still intrigued by these characters. So that's always a good sign of a good story. That one I can't wait to read more, and Void Rivals. So and now G.I. Joe, I'm actually intrigued to read that.
Yeah, same. What about you? What do you got?
So two series that started and that are continuing in this year. World Tree.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. There's no. If someone asks me like what is it, I don't want to tell them because nothing I can say could like prepare you to read this shit because I'm reading it and I'm just like, okay, we're going this way. Oh no, are we talking about mass shootings? Oh no, and it's like it just gets crazier, weirder, and I feel like this is Tynion the most unchained. Like this is writing the craziest shit. I don't even know if he knows where he's going with this story, and I love it.
I think he does. I think he mentioned that he has like an outline. I may be mistaken. I think there's like a 50 issue plan. I could be completely wrong.
Shit.
I could be completely wrong.
Well, either way,
sorry if I'm wrong, Mr. Tynion.
I feel like this is definitely his most edgy series. But at the same time, it doesn't feel like edgy bad. It feels like edgy fun, like what I read comics for.
It's not. It doesn't feel forced or exploitative like a Garth Ennis book. No offense, dude.
It doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't feel like for the sake of it. It feels like it's edgy because that's what the story needs to make it interesting. And great characters as always. I think that's his best part about his writing for me is that right away I just like all the characters.
Me too.
They're just in a simple conversation. I go from I don't know these characters to this wife is not liking life, or I guess ex-husband or something's happening, and this guy obviously meant something to her back in the day, but as a friend, and then it's just like it feels so much like a community of characters or friends that work together. But yeah, that one and Kill Your Darlings. I liked issue 1. I loved issue 2.
Oh wow, okay.
Issue 2 blew me away, and I think it's because I expected it to go in a linear path of like the issue 1 ending. We would stick with that, and then they're like, nope, time jump, and I'm like, whoa, and then it worked, and the last few pages like blew me away of how fun it was, how creative, This comic is easily like climbing up the ladder as like a series I'm falling in love. It's actually one of my favorite comics of the year, just with issue 2. So very excited to see what they do with the rest of the series. I think it's a 6-issue series or maybe longer, but either way, I'm excited for this. And they're new writers and artists. These are like brand new, like they've never written.
Oh yeah. I read the first issue, so I'm intrigued now that I know there's a time jump. I think I I'm one of those people that trade weights.
I know. I usually do too. This one I might.
Comic creators can forgive me.
It is hard because I like a complete story, so I'm 100% with you. But this one I was like, issue 2 even had higher ratings. I was like, I liked issue 1 a lot, so I read it. I was like, holy shit, this is really good.
Okay.
So yeah, that's my big one. But those are the ones that I'm kind of reading now that are going into. I got a list of like new ones, but do you have any that you're reading now that you're enjoying that you want to,
Yeah, I have a billion.
Okay.
But yeah, for ones that I'm reading now, like issue to issue, one that really surprised me. I didn't know anything about this book for the longest time, and then when I went in blind, and I was really I was spellbound. Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees is such a good book. I forgot the artist's name. I have to look them up. So
is that
so
the one with the crazy cover with like a bear dragging a corpse or something, or like a teddy bear? Or that when you showed me that cover, I was like, okay, I need to know what this is because I like that type of shit. Kind of like Kill Your Darling. I thought those two had covers where I was like, okay, now I got to read more. So
yeah, so it's by Patrick Horvath. He is the artist and the author. And it's without giving much away, it's basically Dexter meets Zootopia, and that the vast majority, the issue starts. You're introduced to an anthropomorphic small town where everyone is is as intelligent as a human, but has animal traits. Like the main character has a bear, like a bear head. And there are a bunch of other humanoid animals that live in this town, and you just slowly go through her daily routine while the beautiful, lush, and innocent art carries the book. And then halfway through the book, you see this sweet bear woman just start to sadistically dismember someone and quarter them up into and bisect them into tiny little pieces, and then things only get crazier from there. At the end of the issue, she finds out that there's another serial killer in her town, and they don't have the same meticulous attention to detail that allows her to avoid being caught. And she's worried that the serial killer is going to draw attention to her. So
it's like Dexter season 3.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. It's really cool, and the art, the colors are so rich and vibrant, and they can seem so innocent at times, and they really contrast with these horrific and bloody moments. It's really good. So
check that out. That is one I am intrigued. That one and. Probably on your list. There's another one you told me about that one to read, but that one, just the art alone. Sometimes those covers just get you. Like I got to read more of that.
Yeah, that and the Sacrificers.
Yes,
is really good.
I need to read that.
Rick Remender. I was late to the party, and then I met him at Comic-Con, and he was the nicest, greatest person ever, and he gave me an issue for free, and I caught up and read the first 3 issues, and I think Rick Remender was always good, but between A Righteous Thirst for Vengeance and this book, I feel like he's putting out some of his best work ever.
Yeah.
Where he used to rely heavily on, and there's nothing wrong with this, but he used to rely heavily on narration, and that has mostly disappeared from his newer works that I've read, and it's really cool to see him flex his muscles in this new way where he's doing a lot of more showing and less telling.
Yeah.
And the Sacrificers is it's just a really cool new fantasy world where the rich are exploiting the poor and
Is this called America?
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I say it's fantasy, but it's not too far from reality. And but the thing that makes it really compelling, and I thought it's not really a significant twist, but you find out that they're literally like just sacrificing these people's lives for so little, for just like a minor convenience. You know, it's not like if they don't sacrifice these people, the world will end. It's literally just to make themselves a little more comfortable, and I think that's such a nuanced twist that brings this fantasy a lot closer to reality, unfortunately.
It kind of reminds me of the way you're describing it, the book we just read, Rage of Dragons. Like, they would just kill people just because. Like, oh, you're annoying. Or you walked on my sword, or just something so simple that you would just die for nothing. Like you're treated like nothing. No, Remender, I'm pretty much, I'll read anything Remender puts out. Doesn't mean I always love it. I felt like he did have a slump after what happened with the Deadly Class show. I think he fell into a probably depression, which is understandable. But I feel like you said, with Righteous Vengeance, it's kind of like an upward swing now. And I'm very, very excited to read Sacrifices. That is one on my list. I probably will read it. It's going to be weird. I'm going to put this out after I do my top 10, but I want to read that before I do my top 10 to see if it lands in there for creator owned. But
cool.
But yeah, I'm very excited to read that. That was a good one.
Oh, speaking of other creator owns that are really good, Kaya, dude, by Wes Craig.
I read Divine One. I know it's pretty good. I mean, those don't usually do much for me. Like the very straightforward, like fantasy of like, kind of like, it almost reminds me of like God of War, like the whole protecting the younger, selfish, and then they kind of learn through the adventure. The art's great. The art, as always, is great, but not 100% for me. But I can see why people like it. I can see why it's highly rated.
It's Adventure Time meets God of War, and those are two of my favorite things. So if those things sound good to you, read the book. It's somehow safe for all ages to read, while still being a very gripping and mature tale that even a jaded Dark Soul like you viewers could enjoy.
It is weird like that, because I was reading it, I'm like, maybe you want to be closer to teenage to read it, but you don't really have to. Like, nothing happens where I thought it was like, oh, this is like M rated, which is an interesting twist, because it is kind of a post-apocalyptic feel to it. But yeah, I like it. I just don't think it's great, but I'm glad, like, looking up, I'm not when you look at reviews, people like it, so I was a little surprised I didn't like it as much as I did, but I think it is an interesting book. All
right, fine, we can disagree.
Yeah.
Either way.
No. Do you have any I know you mentioned sorry, I forget your list, but I know you had Incredible Hulk, which,
hell yeah, I do.
My #1 Marvel book pick of the year.
Oh man, it's so good.
So good.
It's so good. I feel like I crack it open and I'm in a time machine to October. Like, it just feels spooky.
Yeah.
Every issue.
Yeah, it's and what I kind of love about it is I feel like it's a lot of different genres in one. It doesn't just feel horror, but it has that sense of it. I feel like it has kind of reminds me of The Road a little bit at times with the girl.
Can see that.
And then the body horror is still there, which is something I was really glad to see come back. And I think that it's really well written, like not overly written. It has just enough dialogue. Man Thing actually had a really cool scene, which is, thank God. I like Man Thing, but they usually treat him like shit, but he was great here. I mean, I think Philip Kennedy Johnson is in his prime right now. After this, Action Comics and Green Lantern, War Journal. I mean, he's, to me right now, one of the best. And Incredible Hulk, like I told you, I think it's better than Immortal Hulk's first arc. Like, I don't know if it'll be that acclaimed in the end, but I think the first volume surprised me more than Immortal Hulk's first volume. I just loved almost every minute.
Okay. I like both a lot.
Yeah.
I think I mean it feels like a direct successor to it. So to me, I feel like I could just go from reading Immortal Hulk to reading this one without skipping a beat. So
Yeah.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
and you're right. Like between that and War Journal, Philip Kennedy Johnson is doing amazing work,
Yeah.
and he's related to John F. Kennedy.
Is he?
No.
You fuck with me? I was like, wait. Okay, so and you also had another one.
Immortal Thor.
Immortal Thor. Very good so far. I've only read 4 issues. 3.
What happened at the end of the last one?
Loki was talking to him after he put him in like the sleep and everything. So yeah, it was 3.
Okay.
And that was my least favorite issue. So that's I think why I stopped. Not that I'm now I'm going to trade weight.
So that's when he got the hammer. Like
yeah.
he made the axe.
Yeah, at the very end.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First 2 issues though were great. Like,
I highly suggest just reading the next one because the next one is the best issue.
All right, well, I guess I got to read number 4, but I did like it. It was, I think I put it at my number 5 for best Marvel comic. The art is really good,
right?
And I love that Thor is smiling, as Ewing said he wanted him to smile a lot, and I like that. Like,
yeah,
that's nice.
I feel like you're gonna have to delete this video if I ever get a career in comics. I just want you to know, I really did not like Donny Cates' interpretation of Thor. And
I think it's very mixed.
I'm just so tired of Thor being this like not cynical, but this morose and burdened king. Just the crown is so heavy. We've seen him struggle with being a ruler so many times, and I just absolutely hated seeing him treat Beta Ray Bill poorly and just be like a really miserable person. I felt very out of character. He felt very weak mentally, and it's so nice to see Thor, who is just as wise as he is strong, and also like mentally resilient. He's so kind and cheerful and inspiring, and he's in his prime. It's really it's how I like my Thor.
Well, it's interesting because before this came out, Ewing said he wanted it to be like the polar opposite of Hulk in terms of feel, and I think he achieves that. I mean, I like Cates' run. I think it kind of flunders in the end, but I overall enjoyed it, unlike his Hulk.
Right. No comment. I've been very negative already.
No, man, Hulk was bad. I think he acknowledges it. Like, if I asked him, I know he's not remembering much right now, but if I asked him,
he's doing better.
He is doing better. I saw his Q&A, and I'm very happy. And sometimes, Stephen King went through all that same thing, car crash, drugs, and then he came back, and I think he's put out some really great stuff. So I'm hoping the same thing. But Hulk was not good, but his Thor I liked. But I do like this direction. Like, I feel like it's a nice turn to something refreshing and fun, and I'm in.
Dude, the supporting cast is amazing. I really love Ewing's Loki is one of my favorite interpretations of any character in any superhero book. Like, his Loki run is one of my favorite runs of all time. It's so nice to see what he's doing with Loki, and also Sif and the rest of the cast that you'll come to meet in issue 4.
What they do and stuff, and
and just the people that it seems like it's going to be about. And I just want to pause here and just say that despite my harsh words, I love Donny Cates.
Oh yeah.
God Country, amazing book.
Redneck.
Yeah, Redneck's great.
Baby Teeth was fun.
Baby Teeth was so good.
Yeah.
Crossover's good.
I think Cates is a pretty, when we're talking about negative on some of his stuff, he's pretty open about his own feelings on his own stuff. He didn't like his Guardians, which is funny because I think his first half of his Guardians is a lot of fun. But yeah, I mean, like I said, Cates, as you know, is one of my favorite writers. I think the accident.
His Venom's amazing.
His Venom is I think his Venom is that kind of like Immortal Hulk, where
Yeah.
it rejuvenated the character.
It's like the definitive Eddie Brock story.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm not gonna talk about the current one, but yeah. So overall, I do like Kate's. I just thought that his story I liked, you didn't like, but I don't think it was great. I think this has potential to be great,
Right.
and I'm excited. Any other ones that you're reading that are into the next year? I have so many that aren't, so that's why.
Okay. I mean, Immortal X-Men is amazing, but it's ending in like a single issue before
Oh yeah,
before we go into the Fall and Rise of X, which we could talk about.
yeah.
I'm very excited for the Fall and Rise of X.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued what's coming after, and not because they're saying back to roots. What I hear is not actually.
Okay.
But my thing I'm excited is I'm always excited for a new team to come on and see what they have, their ideas. It doesn't always work, but it's exciting. And I'm more excited what happens after the Fall of X-Men because I just want to see what teams we're going to have. I want to see who's working on these, what artist, what writer. So in a way, I'm excited for Fall of X-Men, but I'm also like, I didn't read any X-Men stuff this year. Like,
Right.
I have no clue what's happening. You told me about Sinister.
So yeah. I think that at first I was really apprehensive about them rejecting Jonathan Hickman's plan.
Yeah.
You know, Krakoa was supposed to just be the first of 3 acts, and we only got to see the first act of his story. And I was wondering why you'd ever want to interfere with a genius's master plan.
Yeah.
But then I started reading X-Men Red and Immortal X-Men, and damn, they are good.
Yeah. You seem to like, a lot of people seem to like Immortal. Immortal seems to be the big one.
I'd say X-Men Red is good, but Immortal is amazing. It's made me care about characters that I never thought I'd care about. Exodus is one of my favorite X-Men characters now. I don't know how that happened. Exodus and Hope. Exodus and Hope are great. They're carrying the series for me. They need back massages. There needs to be a mutant that gives like telekinetic back massages. They're so good. It's really cool to see the inner machinations of the Quiet Council, and even though a lot of these characters are morally repugnant, it's so interesting to see how their clocks tick, and to see if they can actually do what they were appointed to do, which is to protect Krakoa and the X-Men, and to see how some rise to that and some fall. That they had one of the single best Xavier issues I've ever read. That gave him so much nuance.
Was that issue 10?
Yes.
Yes, that was the last issue I read.
Yeah, where you find out he's Sinister at the end.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
Well, I thought it was good because I didn't read the Sinister event, but I heard it was good. Like a lot of people do like it, and I do want to read that. But I thought that was a nice little twist, but it also didn't feel like a twist just for the sake of a twist. Like the whole issue up to that was good too. Yeah, that was the last one I read, so I'm way fucking behind. Like I don't know who's dead, who's alive, who's coming back. Magneto's dead and coming back. That I know.
Yeah,
that's pretty much it.
Did you see the fiasco with the cover?
I did not.
Okay, so if you look at the cover for the Resurrection of Magneto that was just shared, I'm not sure which issue it is. I think it was just an error on the artist's part, but he scanned the cover in a way so that his tabs on his browser are overlaid on the art. So you have Magneto staring ominously into this red-black abyss, and then you have like Facebook chat and a bunch of other stuff, and you could actually like read some of his messages. It's crazy, and no one caught it.
It would have been great if you had like Pornhub up there and like.
No, I heard. I don't know what the messages are. I think they're in Spanish. I haven't tried to translate them. Yeah.
Well, at least it isn't racist. That's happened before. So.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully not. Yeah, so I'm really enjoying Immortal, and I'm very interested in the rise of the powers of X, or 10, whatever it's going to be called. I don't know. And I'm hopeful for what comes after. If you're right about it not being a reset, I'm hoping that maybe they acknowledge that they need their own place with Krakoa, but then they also need to reintegrate, and maybe they have Krakoa as a safe haven, but then they open the school back up as well. while exploring new frontiers.
It would be interesting to see that for me, like the school, but in a different way. Like this isn't the same old like a target for everybody to attack them again. I want to see like actual mutant and humans working together somehow, instead of always just being like, well, the humans betray them. Or,
I think we're gonna. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, or like one mutant evil guy comes along, kills a bunch of humans, and now everybody hates it. I want to see that again.
We've seen that so many times. I think that we're going to get something different. I think that we may even see AI working with them, since those are the big bads of the book, and one of the biggest themes about X-Men is integration. I could see that they learn that humans, mutants, and AI need to integrate together. But and I don't think we're gonna get Xavier as the school leader. I think we may get someone new, like Apocalypse or something, and I think that'll be enough to change it up.
Yeah, imagine Apocalypse is just like, get to class!
Yeah.
That would be fucking great.
I'm giving you a demerit.
I will fucking buy the book if Apocalypse does become like the principal of the school.
If he becomes headmaster, I want him to just like wear. I want him to wear like a principal's outfit. I want him to wear slacks and a sweater vest.
Yes, I will show you all how to be a real mutant.
Survival of the smartest. You need to know your quadratic equations.
Yeah, that would be fucking great. I'm not even kidding. I really like that.
Me too.
Okay, but all right, so.
Oh, I have one more. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Jimz Tynion's The Deviant. It's amazing. Yes. It's amazing. The first issue gripped me like few things did. Gosh dang, that book is so good. I
gotta say, I know you didn't like the newest arc of Something Is Killing the Children as much as everybody else, but
I never said that on camera.
But realistically, looking at it, this guy, I feel like he doesn't put anything bad out. Like bad. No, I'm talking about bad. It's fucking insane.
Yeah.
How do you keep just going and making, like, even my favorite writers, they put out something like, like Remender, like Scumbag, not for me at all.
Okay.
But that's what I mean. That's normal. That's normal where you're like, oh, that wasn't good. And then this guy, I'm just like, nope, good. Wow, that's great. Oh, that's good. That's wow. Like that's all I keep reading from him. Amazing.
World Tree. The Nice House on the Lake, motherfucking Dracula, Project Blue Book,
Deviant, dude. Something's Killing the Children,
House of Slaughter,
the other one, the conspiracy theory one.
Oh yes,
why do I
the Department of Truth.
Like this guy just doesn't stop. And he's also doing a DC book that's on my top 10. I can't even remember it right now.
Wait, what? He's doing a DC book? What?
Yeah, he did a DC book, and now
no, he didn't. You're lying to me. I don't believe you.
Yeah, it was a Black Label or something.
What?
Sandman. He's doing the Sandman Glass House right now, and it's fucking great. Like, like, come on.
I forgot about that. He did Nightmare Country, right?
Yeah, so Nightmare Country, and it's 1 to 6, and then Nightmare Country Glass House is the 1 to 6. And dude, you don't even have to read Sandman. Like, you could just read this, and it's twisted shit. The first one was great. The second one's even darker because it's about a guy who has ambition to do good in life, but he's going with the wrong people that are making him, and it's basically signing his life away to the devil. And it's so fucked up. It's good stuff. But yeah, I just want to say he's absolutely phenomenal. And I do want to check out Deviant. I've heard nothing but good things.
It's
and Dracula.
Amazing. Yeah, I'd say Dracula, the book is very good. Jimz Tynion does a great job. I'm surprised at how faithful it is. I thought it was going to be like a modern reimagining, but it feels more like just a loose adaptation of the initial Dracula story. But it's very well written. And the art, I believe it's Martin Simmons is how you pronounce his last name. His art is insane. Yeah. It's insane.
I saw I saw just like the first 2 pages, like the preview. I was like, yo.
I sent those.
It's sometimes books do for me, like as much as I like the story, it's the art that just makes me keep reading. Like I can't stop reading. I don't even care if the story goes bad. I'm so intrigued by the art. But yeah, that is a good one. Okay, so are those all the ones that you're reading that are coming out?
Dang, dude, I have so many. People are saying that comics, like, nothing good's coming out. You're all wrong.
You're wrong, you
You're all
bitches. You
wrong, and you
fucking
should be
bitches.
ashamed. Yes,
All right, well,
yes.
I'm gonna
You
list
get
a
in there.
few that I wanna that are coming out. So one I'm intrigued about, and I don't know if it's gonna be good or not. I think it's gonna be good because it's gonna be an Elseworld. It's not part of the continuity, but Avengers Twilight.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think Chip excels when he's not stuck in continuity.
Me too.
Life Story was a great example. I really loved it. Spectacular Spider-Man was continuity, but it was the side Spider-Man story, so he was more free to do what he wanted. And I love about 80% of his Daredevil. Like, really love it.
And what about the Spider Shadow?
Spider Shadow was really good.
The Venom symbiote. Yeah.
And Hawkeye, I think he wrote some of that. I don't care what they say, but
okay.
I think he was hidden. No, but Avengers Twilight looks really cool because Avengers stories, like, I feel like we don't have enough of, like, standalone.
I agree.
That could be exciting. I'm really liking Jed McKay's run, but it feels like the standard Avengers story. I want something that's so different. And if he could do something like Life Story, but with Avengers, make me care like that. Like, he did do the Justice League one. I don't know if you read it. I think the first half was a lot stronger than the second half, where they're pretty much stranded on, like, a planet and they have to work together to survive.
Sounds cool.
And they're not getting along too well after a while. They're going a little stir crazy. Is really fun. But Avengers Twilight, to me, just the idea, it looks like a little futuristic. Looks like a lot of fun. So that one I'm pretty intrigued about.
I just can't believe they're doing, like, a Twilight crossover. Like, that's kind of crazy.
Vampire cat.
Yeah.
Sparkling in the night. And then two other Marvel ones before we get into one that I'm sure both of us want to talk about, the Ultimate.
I've been waiting.
Vengeance of Moon Knight. I've absolutely been loving Moon Knight. I know you kind of fell off a little bit, but the newest Moon Knight stuff I've been reading is amazing. So I'm really excited to see how they're going to wrap that up and focus on someone who I didn't really care much about until recently. And this one, I know you have no clue who this is, but Night Thrasher. I know this is insane that they're bringing him back from the 90s. I only got familiar with him due to reading the omnibus, but New Warriors. But I love this dude. He is basically the Black Batman. Like, he goes around these broken cities and takes out the trash. Like, he beats the living shit out of them. But he has that no-kill code, and he's young. He's like 24 or so.
Just permanent brain damage.
Yeah, he's like, you piece of shit, just kicks him in the face.
Right.
But yeah, I really liked him. He was like a standout character in the New Warriors team. And so I'm really intrigued that they're going to bring him in a modern day setting in 2024 and see what they do with him. I think kind of like what they brought back in Nightwing. Was it not Nightwing? They brought back a character, Darkwing or something.
Darkwing, yeah. I didn't read it, but he's like an unhinged.
Yeah, it was really good. Dude. Like, it was fucked up, but it was good. So I'm really excited. I like when they do that, when they try to do something fresh with older characters, and if it works, great. Like Fool Killer, I thought the new one was great, and then sometimes it don't. So
that one was funny. I read the Fool Killer one. That's like with him in therapy, right?
Yeah, where he's just like, sometimes I see shit. And he's like,
yes.
Like, poop. He's like, yeah, shit in my mouth. And I'm like, yo, what the fuck is happening?
Yep.
It was great. But yeah, so Night Thrasher is a big one I'm excited for.
Totally normal.
You probably know more about all the titles. I just have Ultimate Spider-Man and Ultimate Black Panther on here.
Yep.
But I am excited for all. There's the Ultimate X-Men, right? And
dude.
There's
Looks
one more,
great.
Right?
Nope, that's it.
Oh, okay.
You're probably just thinking of they had the Ultimate Universe issue 1 that launched, I believe, in the beginning of November.
Is there another one, or is that just?
Nope, just that.
Oh, you just wanted to say hey.
Yeah, pretty much. It was just like coming soon to an Ultimate Universe near you.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Ultimate Spider-Man is the biggest title for me.
Yeah.
I mean, it's insane that. It feels so weird to be picking up issue 1. I remember picking up the first Spider-Man book
Yeah, me too, man.
As a teenager. It's just so weird. It feels,
Back in my day.
yeah, I mean, I feel like this must be how people from like the 70s and 80s when they picked up like X-Men 1 again, you know, and like
Yeah.
from like Morrison or something. I don't know.
Right.
But yeah, it's really a weird feeling, but also very exciting. This is
Yeah.
probably the most I've been excited for a Spider-Man title in years.
Dude, yeah, and I know everyone is really excited that he's back with MJ, and that's cool. Like,
Yeah.
but what I really like, it could be anyone really, as long as it's a compelling story. But I like that he's an older adult who's married and has children. I think that like that concept is so cool, and it's so cool to see that he's getting his powers after that. And I really think it's going to lead to a vastly different Spider-Man, or at least I hope it does.
Yeah, I think that's the big thing for me because we've had like Renew Your Vows and stuff, and I've liked those, especially the series. But the fact that, as far as I understand, he does get the powers later.
He does, yeah.
That to me is so cool. Like it could bring up so many different things. Like imagine working a 9 to 5 job, so you're like 40, 35, 40 years old. And then you get these fucking spider powers. How do you implement that into your life? Like, you're not a teenager who's done this your whole life.
Yeah. And also, like, you know, often it's all an allegory for growing up and using your newfound responsibilities wisely. But he's already a successful, like seemingly successful father and husband and an employee. So I'm wondering. I suspect that this is going to be a surprisingly political book. Not as in like I don't think we're gonna see Spider-Man punch Joe Biden and Donald Trump, but I think what we're gonna see is that my hunch is that it's going to be an allegory for how we're responsible to ourselves, but we're also responsible to the world at large. And we're going to see him use, because he's working at the Daily Bugle, I could see him using his journalism, investigative journalism skills to like uncover everything about this evil Illuminati that's controlling the world. That's where I think it's going to go.
Yeah, I'm just so excited to see a new, refreshing take, not a young Peter Parker. A family man, and I'm really excited.
Beard.
Well, yeah, with sick ass beard. And my thing I'm most excited for, like, I love Renew Your Vows series and everything, but it felt like it focused on his daughter and May Parker, and then Peter and MJ were for the ride. And I feel like this is definitely focused on Peter with you know, his kids and MJ for the ride, like how they're going to interact with him being a superhero. I am interested to see, and I wouldn't be surprised if the Spider-Man isn't as nice or you know, a bit more cynical. You know, he's usually cynical on himself, but I would like to see a more cynical view of the world. Like, well, if I save this person, does it really matter? Like, it's just one person. Like, I could take off the night. I got to wake up tomorrow and take my kids to school. Like,
oh man, that's dark.
I want to see it though. I want to see if we get that mindset. Maybe he won't do that.
I think that's you as a dad right now. You're just thinking about that. Like, I'm only gonna get 3 hours.
I don't know if I could swing home in time. But
Spider-Man, I've kidnapped someone from high school. What will you do? I'm gonna go to bed, dude.
What's their name? Oh, that person. That's all right.
I've kidnapped Gwen Stacy. I'm not dating her anymore. Whatever. I got a kid now.
I got a kid. 2. No, but yeah, I'm super excited, and I know you're gonna probably speak more on Ultimate X-Men, which I am intrigued, so I'll let you speak. But I'm very excited for Ultimate Black Panther because I like Brian Hill's stuff for the most part. I like his writing style. It's very simple and fun, and not heavily dialogued or anything, so it always makes for a really fun read. I like what he did with Killmonger. I thought that Mini was funny and also kind of savage, but also just really fun to read. So I hope Black Panther, he does some really new things. He did say T'Challa is who he's writing about, because a lot of people were asking, is it going to be someone else or anything? So no, that's who I want as my Black Panther. And yeah, I'm really interested to see a new Wakanda. Like,
me too.
Is it going to be similar or is it going to be vastly different? And we've gotten some crazy shit over the years. Like literally, they became like a space station slash empire. That was kind of cool. But I really am intrigued to see what we'll get. And yeah, but what about Ultimate X-Men? I don't know much other than it looks fucking weird, but interesting.
I mean, we don't really know much about it, but it's being written and drawn by Peach Momoko, so it's already going to have a very distinct style. Really going to stand out. And it seems like it's really character driven, as opposed to, I feel like, as much as I love X-Men, I feel like with the ensemble cast that sometimes like deep characterization can get lost. Not always. Look at Kieran Gillen's Immortal X-Men, he's doing a great job. But I really like, and they had two preview pages, and it seems like it's going to follow Armor as the protagonist, and she's always so underutilized, and I find her very, very compelling. And it looks utterly batshit insane. Like, I'm getting like Parasite and JoJo vibes from the book. Like, she literally rips out a piece of her skull that has the armor attachment, and it just looks really unique and fun. And I really like. My favorite kind of stories often are ones that are like really over the shoulder, just following one character, and that's what it seems like it's going to do. So I'm pumped.
I'm kind of excited to see. I feel like all three of these are going in that direction, which I think is the best way to start this universe. Is like character focus. We don't need a huge ensemble cast yet. Like maybe with the Ultimate one issue and stuff, we got to see like Thor and the Cap and all that. That's cool.
Yeah.
But I want to see like story driven, character driven, one person, maybe their cast of characters, but focused on them.
We haven't even seen Cap yet.
Oh, that's right.
He
was in the ice.
He was in the ice, and then in the Ultimate Universe book, he's on the cover, jumping around, being Cap, and then he's still in the goddamn freezer. He's still fucking like they haven't pulled him out of the freezer yet. They're not hungry for Cap.
The freezer. It'll be fucking hysterical if he comes out of there. He's just like, I'm a motherfucking evil now.
No, but it looks like we're gonna see him in the Free Comic Book Day comic. That's what it's like.
Really?
So that's what it seems like. It's if I remember correctly, it could be misremembering. I saw that he is sharing the cover with Spider-Man, and it says like we're going to see a new hero in the Ultimate Universe. So even though he's old, it may be new to their universe.
Yeah. Well, I am excited. I think this will the success of these three. I think will determine how the Ultimate Universe plays off. I feel if they're all successful and everybody likes them, we're going to get more story-driven, character-driven stories with one or two big events. And I think that's kind of the way to go. I feel like Ultimates work because it felt like an event comic.
Yeah.
We don't need an Avengers title. We just need them to be that type of moment. So, yeah, I'm really excited. Those are probably my big ones for Marvel. Do you have any other Marvel? I have a couple of DC. I know you don't. You don't like.
I don't
DC.
know.
That shit's trash.
I
Except Batman.
Yeah. I mean, you're basically right. Let's see. Incredible Hulk, Ultimates, Rise and Fall of X, Ultimate Spider-Man. I can't think of anything else. I'm sure that there is something. I'm not as into Straczynski's Captain America as I thought I would be.
Yeah.
Rick Remender's is still my favorite run. I know it's blasphemous. Just the Dimension Z.
Blasphemous.
Yeah.
Oh, I love Rick Remender's run. I think it's great. It would probably be my second or third favorite run.
I want a Dimension Z movie, man. It's so good. But I'm trying to think. No, I think that's it.
I'm trying to think of Marvel. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it for me.
Yeah, hold on. Let me check my little list, fella. See if I missed anything.
Yeah, Incredible Hulk is my big one.
Yeah.
But all right. Well, for DC, I'll just start off with I really only have two titles because there are titles I'm reading now that I enjoy. War Journal is really good. I actually like the main Green Lantern series again, which is a fucking miracle.
Yeah.
And I pretty much like most of the main continuity. I'm really interested to see where they go with Green Arrow and stuff like that.
Right. The art in Green Arrow is amazing.
I love that dude, man. I can't say his name. Sounds like a Japanese anime character, but
yeah, I think he's Australian.
Oh, is he? Well, his art's great.
I reached out to him about a variant cover.
Ring a ding ding. Hello. No. So the new ones, I have two very different ones. One I just want to talk about real fast is Sinister Sons by Peter J. Tomasi. It's like Super Sons, but the evil version of them, the negative. I think it looks crazy fun. Like these are the type of stories I like to kind of just read, like in between all the big stories, just to have a laugh. And I always like his Super Sons. Like obviously aimed for younger, but it's really it's really charming. And I think this looks so funny. And they're bringing back Superman's son from pre-New 52. You probably don't even know he had a son, right?
No.
He had an adopted son. Yeah.
An adopted son?
Yeah, they kind of did the story again, or Philip Kenny Johnson. He adopted two World children.
Oh, yeah.
And in pre-New 52, there was a kid who had his powers. He was like a kryptonite kid, and he adopted him to try to train him, but it was hard to train him because he was like unbalanced and stuff. He just disappeared. Like they just forgot him. So
dad.
Apparently he's coming back, and I'm interested to see how he's gonna like go with these. But yeah, it's weird, but it looks fun. And then the other one, I'm really intrigued. It could be really bad. It could be really good. I really don't know where I'm gonna land. Is Batman Offworld by Jason Aaron.
Jason Aaron. Yeah.
For some reason, sometimes when these writers jump to the other company, they come out with the best they've ever done.
Yeah.
Sometimes they don't.
Right.
I'm not gonna name any names.
Me neither.
But but I'm actually excited because Jason Aaron to me is a very good writer when he's in his element. He's a writer that when he's good, I think he's one of the best.
Right.
When he's not so good, it's not really for me.
Right, but some of his stuff is amazing.
It is, yeah. I mean, some
Southern
of
Bastards.
He has to get back to that. What the fuck?
Well, I don't think it's ever going to come out because of the drama with the artist. I believe that. I'm not sure. I think he may have been canceled. I'm not sure.
Oh, okay. Well, I wish he would just get a new artist because the story was so good.
I totally agree.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like you said, Southern Bastard, Scalped, Thor, all stuff I liked. His Punisher Max is my favorite Punisher story of all time.
Nice.
You know, his newest Punisher was fun, kind of dumb but fun. You know, but then he did something like Avengers for way too long. And I feel like though, after he did that long Avengers, maybe he wants something fresh, like some, you know, a short mini. Not only is he doing that, which I'm really intrigued, he's doing Superman. So I'm Action Comics, I think he's writing. And
it's like a very short, like 3-issue thing, right?
He's going to be doing it like in between others. Like I think they're doing that whole like different writers coming, like kind of like Spider-Man.
Brand New Day.
Yeah, and I'm intrigued by that because I want to see Jason Aaron write happy stuff. Like I feel like he can, but I'm more intrigued with Batman because it's probably gonna be a little darker, and I feel like he writes darker heroes better.
I was surprised that it's gonna be a space-centric series. I figured with like Scalped and Southern Bastards, this was going to be like a very grounded, gritty Batman, but it looks like we're going to space.
I feel like, you know, with Batman, we got so much of that, like the grounded in the city, Gotham, dark, moody. Like I feel like he's like, well, I could do that, but in space. And I'm intrigued how he's going to do it.
Especially, it's supposed to be his first time in space, like ever.
Oh, like he's like, oh shit, there's fucking aliens up here.
Yeah.
The aliens down there, but up here.
Right.
That I didn't know. Either way, I love when writers try something brand new, add a little bit different. And I think Batman is so those are my two big ones probably for up and coming that I can think of.
Okay. I'm excited about their I'm actually interested in Offworld as well by Batman. But additionally, I'm very much looking forward to the return of DC's Elseworlds.
Yes. They did announce, I forgot that.
Yeah. You know, we have the next DC versus Vampires, which should be insane.
Wait, they are doing another?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I like DC versus. It was so stupid, but so fun. And sometimes I read comics just to have fun. Like I don't need it to be the groundbreaking stories. And that series, I was never bored. Like.
Right. No, you're totally right. It was so ridiculous.
Yeah.
and it's going to be Matthew Rosenberg again. I was just double checking, and
Okay.
I believe, I'm not sure. I think that Tyler Boss, who is his longtime collaborator on great series like Four Kids Walk Into a Bank,
Oh, okay.
is going to be doing the like the backups. I think he's doing. I was talking to him at Comic-Con, and he said that he's working on it in some way. So that should be really
Oh.
cool. I love his art.
Who
I
do
think
they
he's
have
one of
on
the
the art
best.
now too? They have a good one now. Oddly, is it
No,
not Oddly.
Oddly.
Not
No
Oddly.
way.
The guy who did the last one, his art is very like distinct for
Oh,
DC version.
I don't
Uh,
remember.
I forgot his name, but I hope he returns. I really like his art.
They're doing a
But
sequel to Dark Knights of Steel as well.
oh well, that I knew. The way it
Yeah.
ended, I was like they had to. That was a pretty good mini.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's his best of his Elseworld.
Yeah.
I like Injustice and Deceased more, but overall it was good. It was very fun.
I
It
agree.
didn't always hit the high marks for me, but I do like Tom Taylor in those type of situations. I think his main continuity doesn't always work for me. I'm just not really. I think Nightwing's fun, but I did not like Titans at all.
Oh, okay.
But more of Dark Knight of Steel, I would love. Like that type of stuff is fun to read for me.
Yeah, I enjoyed it as well, and I agree that it was good, but not amazing. And I
Yeah,
think it's the reason is twofold. The delays really killed the book.
yeah,
Really, they were huge, significant delays, and I feel like it played it a little too safe. I think.
yes,
I
which is
think.
weird.
Mhm.
Sorry, didn't mean to. It's just
No,
weird
no,
that
it is weird.
because he doesn't do that in his other series. So
In
I'm just like,
Injustice, and
yeah, he's just like, I'll fucking kill you. Like Deceased,
yeah,
you knocked out not only Batman but Nightwing,
yeah,
fucking Tim Drake. You killed them all. I was just like,
right.
and so I agree that it did feel a little safe for me.
Yeah, but I really like Batman as Jon Snow,
Yes.
basically, where he's like a bastard Kryptonian.
Yep.
That was cool.
I thought the Supergirl stuff was really fun.
Hmm.
The twist should have been obvious, but it did surprise me a little bit.
Okay.
Did not expect though that I don't know if I should say. Well, it's over already. Martian Manhunter.
Oh
That was a
yeah,
cool twist. That I liked.
right.
Because like the reveal that they're aliens wasn't a big twist, but then he was Martian Manhunter. I was like,
Right.
oh, okay, that one did be. I was like, oh shit, okay.
Totally.
Yeah, that I did expect. Yeah, I like the relationship with Bruce and Clark in it a lot.
Me too.
I thought that was good. Wonder Woman, I love how she's written as a warrior.
Me too.
I thought that was a nice change. Yeah, overall, I liked it. I know it did have shocking moments, but it had shocking moments in like the first 4 issues.
Right.
You know, when they killed like Black Lightning's son and stuff, like all
Hmm.
of that was shocking. And then they just kind of were like, oh, but nobody else gonna die. I was like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah. Or at least I don't know. I was expecting someone to die, or instead of Amanda Waller just manipulating things for one of the members of the League to be outright evil,
yeah.
or just to have like a significant departure from their normal persona. But I
Mhm.
guess they just wanted to do a
Yeah.
medieval
He
Justice
he
League,
said
which is
that
fine.
he said
Yeah.
that he doesn't like really writing like Deceased and Injustice type like really dark. He likes more hopeful. So I
Okay.
get it, and it did feel more hopeful, and the art was great. But the delays really did hurt it for me in terms of the
Yeah.
flow. And that's why I think the first 4 issues were impactful for me, is because like they came out on time. So I
Right.
was like, wow, I'm in. This is pretty great. And then it was like
Yeah.
4 month delay, 3 month. I'm like, okay, well, I don't remember what the fuck happened in the last issue.
No,
So,
totally.
but yeah, I would like to see him do more Elseworld. Elseworlds are always good to me. Like
Hmm.
whether they suck or not, at least they're taking chances. They're daring the status
Exactly.
quo.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to see what they do with it. I feel like DC does some of their best work with Elseworlds.
I think DC does their best work with Elseworlds and minis.
Me too.
I am personally a huge fan of minis, and 4 of my top 10 DC comics were minis this year. So more,
Makes
please,
sense.
just give
Yeah.
them to me. All right, so and then really to kind of talk about my last few things. Some of these are just shown or just came out or solicited. So the Infernals,
The Infernals. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
mostly because Ryan Parrott is one of my favorite like up and coming writers. I mean, up and coming. He's been writing now like 5 years, but
Right.
he's great. But the idea of like the son of Satan, like looking at these 3 children, like I gotta pick one of these fucking guys to take over my
Yeah.
empire. Just sounds so ridiculous.
It's like Succession with Satan.
Yeah, and I love that. Like, you know, give me more of that shit. And I think Ryan Parrott pretty much makes some of the best like dialogue between people.
Right.
He's really what made me fall in love with the Power Ranger series. Like, I don't really give a shit about like Mighty Morphin Power Rangers and like all the shit that they go, but all these characters feel human, and that's why I loved it. And so I'm excited for that. Animal Pound, I mean, not only do you have Tom King, who I always give a chance, but Peter Gross art is phenomenal. So Animal Farm reimagined already got, I didn't need to read anything more, because Animal Farm is one of my favorite books of all time. So I'm totally into doing kind of that, but for the United States. I think that could be really interesting. I think it'll only go 2 ways. I think it'll either be a flop, or it'll be his next what was his book with the army, one of his early works,
The Sheriff of Babylon.
Yeah, like if I get another one of that quality, I would be very happy. And my last 2 are Under Heist. It's by David and Maria Lapham, the guys who made the husband and wife who made Stray Bullets.
Cool.
Love Stray Bullets. I don't know if it'll ever finish, unfortunately. But it's basically a dark thriller, crime thriller, and that's already enough for me to be like, well, they made some of the greatest of all time. I'm in. And I think that starts January 2nd, so like in 2 weeks or 3 weeks.
Right.
And my last thing is the Ghost Machine imprint.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. You
Jeff
just mentioned
Johns,
it the other day.
Yeah, like, well, I mean, Jeff Johns really is an interesting person, because like his recent DC work hasn't really worked for me all that much, but I really liked his Geiger and Junkyard Joe. Junkyard Joe, especially, when the reason I like Jeff Johns is he makes a simple story with the heart of characters that go way past the plot. And Junkyard Joe was so good. Like, I wanted more of it right away.
I know you really made me want to read that.
It has so much heart, and when you make a character who can't talk, make me feel for them, I'm like, okay, well, you got me there.
I know he can talk. Cool.
Yeah, he can't talk, but just the imagery. I mean, I think it's the artist is the same one who did
It's the one he worked on with Justice League as well. Yeah, he's really good. He's really
fucking
good.
Phenomenal.
Jason Fabok. Yeah, there we go.
And I actually like Jason Fabok off of superheroes. I think he does even better with like creator own, because it's more freedom, and I don't have like an image of these characters in my mind. But yeah, it's great. It ties into Geiger at the end, which is really cool. And I'm interested to see this universe, because you got a lot of great writers, a lot of great artists, and you're bringing back a writer. Some people didn't love his work, but I always been a fan of Brad Meltzer's stuff. I love Identity Crisis and his Justice League, and he hasn't written a comic other than that one Spider-Man little. That's
a single page.
Yeah. And he wrote the Superman with stopping the speeding bullet in the train. Do you remember that one? It was like a bullet going through the train station, and he has to like catch it in time.
No.
Excellent. Like one of the best. It was like 3 pages. It was like in Superman 1000.
Is it in the? Oh, it's in 1000. It was either that or the like red, white, and blue.
No, it was Action Comics. Yeah, the 1000. And so yeah, he's coming back to write a comic, like a full comic. Very surprising. But I'm really interested to see if he still got it for me, which I think he will. And just the idea we're starting a universe again, like kind of like the oh my god, Radiant Black. I really like what they're doing with that. Yeah, and I don't love every comic, which is normal. But I really like the main one, Radiant Black, and I like Rogue Sun a lot. And one other one really impressed me. I
like Radiant Red.
Radiant Red, right? Is that the one with the robber? Like she was robbing stuff? Okay. Those 3 are great. And so if we can get another universe where I'm like 3 or 4 comics I'm loving, like that's awesome. And it's creator owned, so they can do whatever the fuck they want. So those are my favorite types. So I think I'm very excited for that. Those are what I'm excited for.
I especially like the Massiveverse, what they're doing with this event right now, where each issue has 2 versions, and it's like 2. Oh, you didn't hear about this?
No, I haven't read I know they're doing the event now, right? It's like cross-title all of them.
Yeah.
No, I haven't read it yet.
So in the main title, both the protagonists, Ethan and whatever the other guy's name is, I forget their names. They both, yeah. So they're the enigmatic source of their powers tells them that only one of them can keep their power.
Yeah, that's where I stopped reading, right when they told them that.
Yeah, and people voted for who's going to be the new Radiant Black. Yeah, it was open up to a vote. There's a little
shit.
There's a QR code at the end of the issue, and each issue of this event, it takes place in 2 alternate realities where both the heroes are fighting in their respective universes, and we don't know which one is going to lead to the true ending.
Holy shit.
Super cool, right?
This is why I like creator-owned comics, because an idea like that, I think Rogue Sun had one where I was reading it, and you had to flip to a page, and it was like, if you chose this, go to page 7, but if you chose this, go to page 9. Okay. And the story would end different depending on the choices you made, and then you could redo it, and the outcome's totally different. It was very cool, because the villain was like a what-if villain. Like, it could change the alternate reality. So, very cool. Like things like that, a little gimmicky, but also if it plays off, that's awesome. You get 2 versions of the same story. But I didn't know about that. That's so cool. Yeah, Rogue Sun and Radiant Black really it kind of has the elements I love, kind of Invincible mixed with a little bit of Power Rangers, a little bit of sci-fi. Like, they're just mixing all the elements. That's another series that I'm excited to keep reading. They've been doing a great job with it. All right, I think that's it for me.
I have
hit me
2 more.
Hit me the 2.
Okay, so the Distillery imprint that just came out, that has Jimz Tynion and Becky Cloonan and a bunch of other people producing books. I don't think they've announced all of their titles yet, but one that I'm very excited about is Becky Cloonan's new book. I read the first issue. It's called Somna, and it's Becky Cloonan and Tula Lote. I believe they're both sharing writing duties and sharing art duties, and it's really cool. Sometimes Becky Cloonan will do 1 complete page, Tula Lote will do another complete page, and then sometimes they'll blend their art together, where like one is doing pencils and one's doing inks, or one is doing colors, or sometimes they'll melt panels together. It's really cool. It's like a sexy gothic romance.
I was gonna ask, is this the not safe for work one I've been seeing?
Oh yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to read this one.
That also the webcomic artist False Knees. I love his work. His art is beautiful and his stories are really touching. And he's doing this for November. He does the series called Kneesvember every year, where he does 1 page of a comic every single day. And he just finished his new one, and it was very touching, and it's like a meditation on creating an art. And it's going to come out next year in physical form. Very excited about that.
Is this what Deviant's published under? This imprint? Oh, okay. I didn't know because I haven't even heard of this imprint.
I don't think so. I'm pretty sure it's not. But yeah, have you looked it up? I don't know much about it.
No, I gotta
look at it. STLRY. Let me look.
Well, I mean, and Jimz Tynion's kind of the head honcho on it, like kind of build it, making it. That's interesting. I mean, Jimz Tynion again. I think after the debacle with DC, which he's been pretty open about, which is nice to see. I think he's like looking out for other creator-owned stuff, kind of like what Robert Kirkman did back in the day. Like, I didn't pay much attention to that when I was younger, but what happened with Marvel when he just said, like, creator-owned people leave, like, make your own thing. It's not so easy, obviously. And some artists and writers get the money they're worth, but Jimz Tynion has been pretty clear to say that he has made a lot more money making his own stuff, and so has Rick Remender. Yeah,
there's literally a comment in the Deviant where the character who is very clearly inspired by Jimz Tynion says exactly that.
It's obvious. I mean, Rick Remender has gone on to say that his putting out books like Black Science and all that has made him more money than working a year for Marvel. And I'm like, so your reprints are making you more money than working a whole year with Marvel, and he has made some of the greatest Marvel comics of all time.
Yeah.
So to say that is pretty brutal in terms of how they pay them shit.
It's nuts.
Yeah.
So yeah, the imprint has Jock, Francesco Francavilla, Becky Cloonan, Tula Lote, Joelle Jones, Jamie McElvey, James Tynion. It has Brian Azzarello, Cliff Chiang. Is
this like a brand new company, or is it imprint for a company like Image? Or
I'm pretty sure, I may be mistaken, but I'm pretty sure that it is a new imprint. It's Distillery is a next generation comics publisher.
So they're a new publisher too.
Yeah, but it's weird because I'm pretty sure that Somna came out through Image.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, is it like Skybound? Like Skybound is part of Image, but they're its own entity.
I just want to know. I don't know, man. I have it. I have it in my backpack right here. Let me look.
Because that's interesting if it's a brand new publisher, but if it's like a sub publisher through Image, which would make sense because Image is like the big one.
Oh no, dude! It's just straight up a new publisher.
Wow.
I'm gonna apply.
That's crazy. Yeah, I mean that's because you don't really get that many publishers. Ever since AWA, I think was like the last publisher to kind of come in, and that was like right before COVID. So there hasn't been a new publisher, as far as I know, in the last 4 years. Like maybe Scout Comics is starting to get big, but they were around before that.
Right.
So I am intrigued. I mean, those are big names. Those are some.
Huge
hopefully
names.
they don't turn out like what's the one, Aftershock, where they didn't pay anyone for like 2 years.
Oh yeah. Ooh, that's bad.
Yeah, that was bad.
I'm also excited for to finish my comic, Detonator.
Yes, we're gonna do another video.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, I mean this video. I'm sorry. Do you have anything else before I kind of wrap it up?
No. Get that wrapping paper.
I wanted to say that with our list, I mean, we have some of the same, but we have a lot of different ones. This is why I fucking hate when people just say there's nothing coming out. I think it's ridiculous. I mean, this is just what's coming out, still coming out, and what's coming out in the next 2 months. And that right there, I feel like we listed like 30 plus comics.
Yep.
It's just, it's a ridiculous thing to say because I feel like, especially creator owned, we're still in the golden age. Like, this is when writers and artists can freely write and draw what they want, and there's nobody telling them, well, that doesn't fit in the content. Like, you know, and I feel like Marvel and DC are a bit more lenient nowadays. Not so much with certain characters, Spider-Man, but you know, we do have more freedom on the minis from DC. I feel they're like go all out. Yeah, I mean, we named a whole bunch of creator owned that you should be checking out that are already out with the first few issues. The Deviant, like you said, Transformers, World Tree, Kill Your Darlings. This is a lot you should check out.
Rom V has a new book that I totally forgot about that's coming out soon. It's like a mech book.
Yeah, that was weird. I saw that and I'm like, okay, this could be fun. Rom V either for me creates things I absolutely love. Yeah. Or some stuff I don't really like that much. But I really recently, what was the recent one I read from him I really liked?
Death of Layla Starr?
No, that was in the middle for me. I liked elements of it. But it didn't capture me like Day Tripper did, even with the same vibes. Swamp Thing. His Swamp Thing. Especially his second half of his Swamp Thing was fucking great. Right. So yeah, and I like when we need more Swamp Thing, which reminds me there's no fucking Swamp Thing series right now.
I want to write him. Let me write him one day.
I love your idea. I'm not gonna say it because it's so good. I really want it to be made. Something so different.
Yeah, I know. I feel like every Swamp Thing is great, but it's always like a really gothic and morose story. And
this would be good. Which is kind of funny. The newest run had elements of what you're talking about, but yours I feel would be more fun. Yeah. So anyway, that's our list. Quite a few. Anybody who's watching this, do you have comics that you're interested in? Because obviously we listed ones that we looked at, but there's about 1 million fucking comics coming out from Marvel and DC alone, let alone all the other companies. So list them below, because I always like to find ones that I never heard of, and I'm like, oh, this is like my favorite comic of the year. So please list those below, and yeah, I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you come back and watch more of our videos. We'll do another interview. It'll be fun to do an interview about Detonator after it's done. Because we did it while you were making it, and how much has changed, you know? Because that was right after COVID, right?
Yeah, beautiful time. Yeah. Beautiful time to start working.
Well, you know, and then we could talk about your other series probably by then. Coming along, because we got images and everything. It's very exciting. So we'll be back. Hopefully in 2024. We
will. Yeah. I'm aiming for July for the Kickstarter.
Oh, July. Oh, that's only half a year away.
Yeah, it's 8 months away. Yeah. Maybe July, maybe August.
All right, guys. All right. I hope you enjoyed. Everybody have a good day.
Until next time, true believers, Excelsior!
I don't know who that is. Who is that supposed to be?
Dude, it's Stan Lee.
Oh, he's dead. Yeah. Fucking around. Yeah, I know. All right.